For KBRFradio.com News, I'm Derek Sidian, and this is the weekly news recap, brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonememorials.com, memorials that matter. A man was arrested last weekend by the Otter County SWAT team for threatening to use his gun on his girlfriend. 33-year-old Donovan Tran Bolden of Brainerd was arrested after authorities were called to a potential domestic incident at a home in rural Fergus Falls. County prosecutors say that last Friday evening, Bolden's girlfriend reported he had been shooting a handgun outside their home all day and made threats to use the firearm. After an altercation between the two, the victim said Bolden stated that he would shoot, quote, anybody else that challenged him, at which point the victim called 911 and left the house. Deputies say that when they arrived at the home, they were able to get Bolden to leave without incident. A search warrant was issued, and authorities were able to recover multiple firearms, including Bolden's 9mm, which was found in a crawl space. Prosecutors say that when speaking with deputies, Bolden said he had not handled the 9mm or any of the other firearms in the last week. When asked why he hid the gun, he said that he knew he wasn't supposed to be around guns and hid it after his girlfriend called 911. Bolden has been charged with gross misdemeanor domestic assault and felony threats of violence. A 6th grade Underwood teacher is charged with malicious punishment of a student. 47-year-old Jason Rogers is accused of stepping on a child's back with both feet during a lockdown drill. Otter County deputies responded to Lake Region Hospital on February 10th on a report of an assault. The student said he was lying on his stomach when Rogers stepped on him like a stepping stool in front of his class. Rogers told deputies the class wasn't taking the practice drill seriously, so he placed his foot on the student's back. He also admitted to stepping on 2 other students. Rogers is scheduled for court on April 8th. After years of dedicated service to Otter County, Wayne Stein will retire as Auditor-Treasurer on Monday. During the March 25th Board of Commissioners meeting, Chair Wayne Johnson read a Minnesota Senate Legislative Acknowledgement Resolution honoring Stein for his career in public service and congratulating him on his retirement. County Commissioners appointed Chris Vipint to serve as Interim Deputy Administrator and perform the duties of Auditor-Treasurer effective April 1st. Otter County Administrator Nicole Hansen commented on the transition, stating, quote, Chris brings valuable experience and dedication to this role, and we are confident in her ability to lead the department effectively during this transition period, end quote. Otter County is in the process of hiring a deputy administrator in the coming months. OK Tire Store is announcing that it has acquired Brian's Repair and Tire Service, expanding its presence in Minnesota. President of OK Tire Store Dana Sand said, quote, bringing Brian's Repair and Tire Service into our employee-owned company is a proud moment for OK Tire. Together, our employee owners are committed to delivering the exceptional service and reliability that customers trust, while fostering a culture of doing the right thing and community engagement that defines both our teams, end quote. Sand says Brian's Repair and Tire Service has built a reputation for expert workmanship and customer-focused service, and under OK Tire Store's ownership, customers can expect the same dedicated service now with enhanced support and resources. She says customers will experience a seamless transition with the same trusted team and service they rely on. In a statement on Facebook, Brian's Repair owners Brian and Leanne Huseth say that while they've sold their tire service and repair shops located in Brandon, Perham, Rothsay, and Underwood, Brian's Repair will continue to own and operate their machine shop in Underwood. 3 juveniles are injured after a car crashed into a school bus in rural Wadena. Wadena County deputies responded to the crash just before 8 Thursday morning. Upon arrival, responders found a Chevy Impala, driven by a 16-year-old female, had crashed into the rear end of a Verndale school bus. There were 2 other juveniles in the vehicle. The driver and one of the passengers were transported to Estera Health with non-life-threatening injuries. Deputies say the school bus was stopped on the road to pick up students when the Impala crested a hill and crashed into the bus. The sun is believed to be a contributing factor in the crash. Another bus responded to the scene and transported the 20 students on board to Verdale Public School, where they were evaluated for injury. One additional student was taken to the hospital by private vehicle for minor injuries. The crash remains under investigation. Spencer McGrew, Ottertail County AIS Specialist and Chair of the statewide Aquatic Invasive Species Advisory Committee, has called on lawmakers to reconsider proposed local AIS prevention aid cuts. McGrew testified before the Minnesota State Senate Taxes Committee on March 25th to address the proposed funding reductions that threaten Minnesota's successful AIS prevention programs. He says that county-led AIS programs account for 90% of Minnesota's AIS prevention efforts, and that these programs rely on state funding to protect Minnesota's waters. McGrew urged Minnesota lawmakers to continue protecting the state's lakes, rivers, and natural resources for future generations and maintain its leadership in AIS prevention funding. Members of M-State's Student Government Association recently served as Minnesota ambassadors attending the Today's Students Coalition DC Summit. The student leaders shared their stories with the Washington, D.C. legislative offices during the week-long trip, advocating for the expansion of the Minnesota PSEO program, support for students facing food insecurity, and basic needs support. Since the students returned, they have had a reinvigorated passion for student advocacy and leadership, and are encouraging everyone to be civically engaged. Park Region is excited to announce that fans of the Minnesota Twins can now catch every pitch, hit, and home run live on the brand new Twins channel. The Twins channel will provide exclusive coverage of Minnesota Twins games throughout the 2025 MLB season. General Manager and CEO at Park Region Dave Bickett says, quote, "Our mission is keeping you connected to the things that matter most. We know how passionate Twins fans are, and we're thrilled to keep them connected to live games and Twins coverage on our platform," end quote. The Twins channel is now available on PRTV Now Channel 103, and an MLB channel will be available on Channel 107 starting in early April. A woman from Fergus Falls is fighting for justice after her mother was killed by a driver that prosecutors say was intoxicated. Ilona Tervola says her mother Gisela would have turned 84 on Thursday if it wasn't for a tragic car accident on Highway 210 near Breckenridge last October. 31-year-old Dylan Todd Church of Parker's Prairie has been accused of being high on methamphetamine, crossing into the opposing lane, striking Gisela's vehicle, and killing her. Ilona has been working with state prosecutor Derek Ganshorn to make sure her mother receives justice and the maximum sentence is served. To listen to the full story, go to kbrfradio.com. This has been the Weekly News Recap, brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonmemorials.com, memorials that matter. For kbrfradio.com News, I'm Derek Sidian. Tune in every Friday at 12:30 on kbrfradio.com or on the Fergus Now app to stay up to date with local news. Get more news at kbrfradio.com. Sign up for email news sent right to your inbox, delivered by Cooper's Office Supply.